This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the 2016 Marcum MicroCap Conference in New York City. I have with me Jim Caruso, Cellectar Biosciences, a publicly traded company, and the symbol is CLRB. Jim, welcome to SNNLive.
Thanks for having me, Shelley. Pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you. Let's start with an overview on Cellectar, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Cellectar Biosciences is an oncology-focused biopharmaceutical shop, and we're located in Madison, Wisconsin. The foundation of the company, our core technology, is the delivery platform, and we have a very elegant small molecule that has the capacity to add a wide variety of oncologic payloads. The combination of these payloads with our delivery vehicle create what we call phospholipid drug conjugates, or PDCs. We have both optical and diagnostic imaging PDCs. Our real focus is on oncology therapeutics. We have a product currently in the clinic in a phase 1 for relapsed refractory multiple myeloma, and we call that CLR131. And we have some really exciting news relative to our first cohort. We'll be sharing additional news in the third quarter of this year. We also have a very, very unique and interesting chemotherapeutic conjugate program, the combination of our delivery vehicle with chemotherapeutics. Now, historically, chemotherapeutics, as we all know, work very, very well, highly effective. Unfortunately, they're also highly toxic, and the reason for that is they share both cancer cells as well as healthy cells the same way. The toxic agents do not distinguish between the two. In combination with our delivery vehicle, we have a clear preference for cancer cells. And then we also have a very, very unique collaboration platform based on our delivery vehicle.
So let me get this straight. You have a IP on a delivery platform, and you also have drug developments.
No, absolutely. That's a great question. I'm glad you brought up the intellectual property, because over the last 2 weeks, we've had 3 USPTO patent actions. 1 is a publication, and 2 patents were issued, essentially protecting our chemotherapeutic conjugate program through the middle of 2030. So that's just very significant. And then to your point, we do have a product currently in the clinic for relapsed refractory multiple myeloma. And in the first quarter of the year, we did share in the public domain the performance in that first cohort, and it was very, very good. 4 of 4 valuable patients at a very low dose achieved stable disease, and 2 of those patients had extended progression-free survival for 4 months. And at a very low introductory dose, based on the activity that we saw, as well as a very, very clean adverse event profile, we're excited to share our second cohort information in the third quarter of this year. And your second part of your question relative to our CLR CTX conjugate program is essentially taking chemotherapeutics and combining them with our delivery vehicle. And that creates, as I mentioned earlier, phospholipid drug conjugates. We have a series of phospholipid drug conjugates with chemotherapeutics, both with SAHA, gemcitabine, and other common chemotherapeutics. But we focused on paclitaxel, and we have a series of paclitaxel formulations. And over the next couple of 2-3 weeks, in the second quarter of this year, we're going to share in vivo data, which we believe is very exciting and potentially may differentiate our delivery vehicle versus paclitaxel in terms of increasing the amount of drug directed to tumor cells as opposed to healthy cells, enhancing efficacy and clearly reducing adverse events.
Where does the science come from?
Great question. We have a very elegant phospholipid ether, and the phospholipid ether is a small molecule, easy to manufacture, easy to replicate, and it's a phospholipid. So why is that significant? It's significant because cell membranes are made up predominantly of lipids, about 90% in fact. And in the presence of cancer, there's an over-demand for lipids. So cancer cells essentially act as a magnet for our phospholipid. So not only is our phospholipid with the payload, the oncology therapeutic payload, attracted to the cancer cell, we actually can access the cell via a portal called lipid rafts and deposit the payload intracellularly. This is significantly different than a very popular delivery mechanism called antibody-drug conjugates, which can only attack and be specifically designed for an antigen on the surface of a cell.
Where was it all developed?
Well, we're very blessed. We have a great team of scientists that are experts in a number of different areas. This particular technology was developed out of the University of Michigan. The company is currently in Madison, Wisconsin. We have a great relationship with the University of Wisconsin as well, and there's a lot of collaboration between investigators at the university and our company. It's a really nice partnership.
And how many scientists are working full-time with the preparations for clinical trials?
Well, we have a very streamlined organization. So we recently completed a capital raise, and we have some dollars in the bank that extend our runway through the first quarter of 2017. But we're also very, very judicious in terms of the allocation of those dollars and cents. So we have a streamlined team, but we have a handful of very bright chemists, biologists, and senior scientific officers.
What's your background?
I'm generally business-oriented. I grew up in large multinational pharmaceutical companies, Bristol-Myers Squibb, Novartis, BASF, and then I transitioned out into the biotech world and have had, quite frankly, reasonable amount of success in a number of small shops in terms of building companies and transitioning assets. This Cellectar opportunity was particularly exciting for me because of the quality of the technology. And I knew that we could potentially have a meaningful impact on patients' lives and also, importantly, create significant shareholder value.
What is your website?
Our website, thank you, Shelley. Good question. Our website is cellectar.com, CELLECTAR.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Caruso, Cellectar Biosciences. It's a publicly traded company, and the symbol is CLRB. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNNLive, and we're coming to you live from the 2016 Marcum MicroCap Conference in New York City. Jim, I want to thank you for coming on to SNNLive.
Oh, my pleasure, Shelley. Thanks for having me.